show that I watched last night on 60 Minutes where Amelia Adams did a really fascinating show on scams and scamdemics, which is a good way of putting the situation as it is at the moment. Amelia is on the phone. Good to talk to you. I was terrified when I saw this. I mean, I was worried, Amelia, about, the scams before, but when I saw this and saw how much money people had lost, it's amazing, isn't it?
It's extraordinary, Phil, and I'm in the same boat. I mean, I hear about this every day, and, my mum was telling me the other day about a scam that she half fell for, and you hear about it, but I didn't realise the extent of it until I started researching for our investigation. And to think that, we lost more than $3 billion in this country to scammers last year. They're so sophisticated, They're so tricky, they're so legitimate. So you can't, there was a time, I think, when you'd say, oh, God, I can't believe you fell for that. But any of us could fall for these texts or these spoofs. They're just incredible.
Yeah, therein lies the rub. The fact that so many people, intelligent people, have fallen for this when we're also so aware and so careful of opening texts, of replying to anything. So the further they get into the sophistication of it, the more elaborate it is and the more likely you are inadvertently to fall for it and lose your life savings.
Oh, it's extraordinary, I mean, we spoke to a range of Australians who've fallen for a range of these scams, be it investment, phishing, spoof, whatever you want. And, they've lost the average Australian who falls for a scam loses about 40,000, which is, it's not small cash.
No.
And I'm speaking to people who lost 100,000, life savings, retirement savings, 250,000. Another man fell for, which was all of his business accounts and his personal accounts. So this is life-changing stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just these nifty criminals with one text that just get you. It is so on the rise to the point where, as you would have seen last night, the government is now stepping in and saying, "Okay, look, we've got to get everyone together and do something."
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's not okay for the victims, but also it's a serious threat to our economy. When you look at cyber criminals and the impact that they're having, if Australia is this much of a soft target, it's not good for any of us.
Well, that's the thing. In your research, how did you find that we became a soft target and almost a testing ground for scammers around the world?
Look, I mean, the current government says that the previous government didn't do enough, which you might expect. And I think COVID played a role. People were locked at home. They're on their computers. They're online shopping. They're, answering their emails and their phone calls and sort of living in a bit of a bubble. So perhaps we've just become a little bit complacent, and the criminals at the same time have become more sophisticated and more nifty.
Yeah.
Technology has evolved, and it's created this perfect storm where we're seriously behind the rest of the world. And if you look at Canada and UK and some of the things they're doing, which our government is now looking to, it is high time we caught up.
Well, here's the thing. In the UK, you get used to being scammed. I remember walking along the street and I had a sudden sciatic pain and I dropped my briefcase on the ground and nobody would pick it up because that would be the kind of scam that you would somehow get, involved in. Everybody's wary of it. But it's so sophisticated in the UK that what happens is people will get hold of a key to a flat and then, they will advertise it as the flat being available. You'll go and they'll show you around pretending to be the estate agent. Everything seems legit. Then you will go onto the website, put your money into the website, for the flat. Turns out the whole thing is a scam. The website's, set up. As soon as your money goes in, they're gone. But we've become so aware of this that now we're not answering our phones. We're not, for me, I'm checking my bank details every 10 minutes and then freaking out.
Yeah.
I want to go in to a bank and look at somebody behind a counter and say, this is where I'm at. And it feels like that's the stage that we're at. We want face-to-face verification here.
It's changing the way we live. It's changing the way we communicate, which is really sad, but I guess it's good that, Australians are becoming savvy. And I've got to say, in our investigation, we spoke to all of the big banks, as you might expect.
Yep.
And they are pouring millions. They are pouring millions into anti-fraud, anti-scam centres, staffing, technology. They're making changes. I think CommBank has taken a really impressive step in making changes to name-to-name verification. So if I were to transfer you money, Phil, it has to be your exact name to match your account. that's one of the problems is that, some of the bank sort of regulations and systems are kind of outdated when you now look at how sophisticated the scammers are. So they've got to play catch up. They know that. And it's also this kind of communication. Like if, 50 grand goes from my account, if I had 50 grand in my account, the scammers wouldn't be coming after me, unfortunately.
There you go.
50 grand went from say I've got a CommBank account that goes into an ANZ account. How can CommBank and ANZ communicate, track the money, freeze the account before it's moved into crypto or moved offshore? So this is what they're really knuckling down on at the moment.
Yeah, and banks have got to step up, which you mentioned in the story, especially in the UK, they've come to the party, but in Australia, we're still lagging behind there. One thing I noticed... I was going to say, when they got your AI and they fooled, your producer into thinking it was you through AI, that kind of technology is incredible too. So I would suggest, having watched that if you get a call from someone pretending to be somebody wanting money, have a secret word or have a secret, question that you can go, remember that time? Only they would know the answer to it, so that you are actually speaking to a person.
Yeah, I think it's just that thing now where, unfortunately, if anyone asks for any of your personal details over the phone, even if it's your mum, you've got to question it because, the company that did the scam with us, CyberCX, was quite extraordinary, but they literally just pulled my voice off, the internet and copied it, fed it into a program. And my very good colleague, Dan, who I work with every day, did opposite each other, picked up the phone, heard this pretend Amelia voice, and absolutely believed it was mine. He didn't, to his credit, I have to say, he couldn't hear the call very well. Yeah. So he hung up and he immediately texted me my personal details. So luckily they wouldn't, have gone to the scammer. But it just went to show how easily someone, even someone who you're close to or you work closely with, will believe that is your voice. And of course you're going to go, oh yeah, here's your credit card number, here's your passport number, and help them out. Or even your birthday, like the information that they can access now with those numbers, it's just not worth it.
Amelia, a terrific show on 60 Minutes. Thank you so much for your time. And listen, just do me a favour, just send me over your PIN number and I'll sort you out with the receipt for this chat on the radio today.
You can drain my full $33.50 bill. It's all yours.
Nice to talk to you. Thanks so much. Amelia Adams there from Channel 9, 60 Minutes last night. An incredible story on scamming. So you've just got to be so careful, don't you?